Next up, we have the author and curator of the Suffragettes, Dr. Diane Atkinson.
Well, I just want to talk very briefly about Emily Wilding Davison, who we are here to celebrate and commemorate next year and forever after. Well, ever since she died, Emily Wilding Davison has been remembered in our collective memory of struggle and indeed success in women getting the vote. After all, she's the most famous suffragette of all. The newsreel of her protest was flashed all around the world more or less as soon as it happened. Being the most famous suffragette of all would have been just how she would have wanted it. The limelight was Emily Wilding Davison's favourite form of lighting. Please don't think she was a shy, sweet creature. She certainly wasn't. She was not modest or unassuming or any of those silly things. She was quite the opposite. She was never happier than when she was engaged in public speaking and making all kinds of militant protests. Whether it was public speaking, militant protests, and even inventing one. The one that she kind of copyrighted and got a bit annoyed when other people copied it too much, was setting fire to pillar boxes. And that was such a bold, brave action, because in a way you were attacking the establishment. You were attacking the mail, which had the stamp of the monarch on its cover and on the envelope, and it was almost like a treasonable act. Anyway, she invented that, and it was much copied all over the country and caused a great deal of furore when thousands of letters were destroyed. She also wrote her way into people's thoughts and inspirations a great deal. When she died, and I'm utterly convinced, and I'm going to put some money on it in a row with anybody about to the contrary, she was ready to do so. She knew exactly what she was doing. Please don't fall for she had a return ticket situation. That's really very much a red herring. And I'm absolutely convinced that she went there with that purpose in mind. She was a 40-something ex-governess and a career suffragette. In her 5-year suffragette career, she did it all. You name it, and she did it. She smashed windows. She got involved in all kinds of absolutely terrifying, hair-raising cell protests. She threw stones at politicians, and she assaulted a man who she was absolutely positive was David Lloyd George. It wasn't. It was a local vicar, which was all a bit difficult, really, and so on. So you name it, and she was there ready to do it. And in 1913, of course, she did what nobody else had done before or did since. She martyred herself for the vote. Emily had been a governess for 2 very different families before she joined in the struggle for the vote. Her first family was a very wealthy family who were quite horsey, all about hunting, and that's what makes me believe that she knew exactly what she was doing when she stepped in front of a 2-ton horse galloping at her about 30 miles an hour. She knew what would happen. And then she went to work for a very interesting couple, rather a glamorous couple. He was a Liberal MP, and they were glamorous in the sense they were very handsome and beautiful, the kind of the golden couple, and they were rather modern too. In a nod to modernity and feminism, they joined their names together by special license. And it was during her time being governess to this couple's children that she started going to Liberal meetings, and that's what turned her on to suffrage, is my opinion. And it was the obvious thing to do. Her life was building up to this, and she left her job and really lived a very frugal hand-to-mouth life, living on her rather small savings so that she could go and work for the struggle. And she is really a truly remarkable person. She was very much a loner. She was a lone figure. She had many, many friends, and many of her friends were determined to keep her memory alive. There was an Emily Wilding Davison pilgrimage every year up to Morpeth. There was the Emily Wilding Davison Club, and there was the Emily Wilding Davison Lodge, which used to meet in Holborn and talk about the old days and talk about trying to make change to make women's lives better and not just be stultified and located in the vote. And I'm really, really happy to be part of this campaign, and I'm really excited at the challenges that lie ahead of us to get the people at the Derby race to allow this to happen. We will overcome their prejudices. I am sure it will happen, because there is quite a resistance to Emily Wilding Davison. She's not the most popular girl in the world as far as they're concerned. Even all these years on, they're still not keen on her. So it's going to take an awful lot of our persuasion to make this happen. So I'm really happy to be part of this, and I'm really pleased to be invited to come along and talk about her. And I think it's going to be a brilliant way to remind people who've forgotten about her, and to tell people who don't know anything about her who she was, what she did, and how she lived and died for the vote. Thank you.